Hey everybody, this is Matt. Welcome to the Building Small Business Podcast. Today we're here with
Shae. This is weird. You've never started the podcast, I don't think.
Damn, I haven't.
No.
But we're here with Shae and Jess today.
How's it going, guys?
Hi.
It'll be a little bit different of a format. We're actually talking about their business, which is Shae and Jes Photography.
Yep.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
So I just revealed the actual business that you're involved with, but I guess if you could expand a little bit more about what avenue you guys photography-wise do.
We run together Shae and Jes Photography is what we call it. We also do video as well. We started that a little over a year ago, and we've kind of worked our way into doing family shoots, couple shoots, but mainly doing weddings, travel, elopements, things like that. So we kind of go all over the country and have a lot of vacations and take a lot of pictures.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's been a fun gig so far.
Yeah, I think it's neat that you guys have the travel niche too. Like that's a fun way to kind of get out of the state, make a little money obviously, and also see some really cool things.
Yeah, so we actually got into photography pretty much because we like to take pictures when we did travel of kind of ourselves. We would set up tripods and do things like that. So then naturally, once we started the business in it, it kind of made sense to market ourselves to, we'll travel and take pictures of other people that are doing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love it. And so I guess, Jess, if you could expand a little bit about how you guys got started.
So we, like you said, took pictures of ourselves while we were hiking, traveling, whatnot. Shae convinced me that he needed a new camera so he could take videos of him and Duke for his real estate. I guess advertising? I don't know how to...
Duke's my dog, so I'm also a real estate agent, and I would do silly videos walking around talking about the real estate market with Duke.
Tuesday Talks with Duke.
Yes.
So he convinced me we needed a new camera. So I told him it was fine, whatever. And then from there, he texted me one night when I was out with my old coworkers and said, "Hey, do you want to become a photographer?" And I was like, "Okay, cool. Like, let's try it." And here we are. So
fast forward to now.
a year and a half later.
I just randomly made a Facebook page and was like, "Oh, I guess I'll call it Shae and Jes Photography." Yeah. And like we had taken a family shoot, and I was like, "I'll see if anybody likes it." And then
see where it goes. Yeah.
Now we're here.
So, Jess, you said you were at the bar with a former coworker. You said.
Former coworkers.
What was that?
So I was a vet tech for 10 years. Went to college for that, and then was lucky enough that I worked like summers at a clinic, and they took me in like as soon as I graduated. So I did that for 10 years. They were fabulous to me, awesome people. I just needed something different. So,
nice. And then when did you cut the cord on that one?
June of last year. So I've been full time like right at a year.
It's a full year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Wow. It's probably like right at a year.
Yeah. It was June 1st of 2020 in the middle of COVID.
That's awesome.
I just said, okay, I have to leave. Bye. So, and it's been amazing.
No 2-week notice. You just
no. I gave them like a month's notice. I was very nice about it because they were always been so good to me.
Yeah, we got super busy mainly with photos. Like it kind of took off. We didn't expect it. We didn't really we marketed it some, but it blew up. And I was like, you gotta help me out here.
Yeah.
So I guess as far as there's a lot of stuff that goes on with photography, there's lighting, there's the type of camera you use, the type of lens you use, the editing software, storage. There's a lot of different things to think about. What kind of things like challenges did you run into? Did you like watch YouTube videos? Did you take classes on how to edit? Like how did that work?
I'll take that one. So I went through like a stretch of real estate where like I was really slow. I didn't have a lot going on. Like it was actually a really hard time. If anybody who's been self-employed or working that business knows, like you're gonna hit some rough patches. And so I had probably like a 3 or 4 month one, which I don't think I got a check for like 2 or 3 months.
That's tough.
Yeah, that was hard. So during that time, like I was like, I don't know what to do. Like I studied hours and hours of YouTube videos on photography. I'd had a camera for a long time, but I never really did a crazy amount with it. And I bet I watched over 100 hours of videos. So like once I picked up the camera, I already knew how to use it way better than someone else. And I learned about editing before I ever even had the software downloaded, stuff like that. So like I dove into it, learned about it, but it's like an ever-changing business. There's a lot of moving parts. If you look out in front of us right now, we have 3 cameras, 2 lights, 3 microphones. Like,
yeah, it takes a lot to make this ugly face look decent. So I appreciate that.
I spend hours in post after these podcasts make them out look pretty, but yeah. So there's a lot that goes into it. But YouTube's been my college. Like, I didn't go to school for it or anything, and I mean, ask her every night instead of watching. I usually watch like a couple YouTube videos to learn something new that day, and then a lot of New Girl. So
there you go.
We love New Girl.
Who's that girl?
Yeah, it's Jess.
It's Jess.
Oh, hey.
It fits. I like it. I like it.
I do sing it to myself every now and then. It's fine.
Well, if we're being honest, my wife's name is Elise, and she loves that show. And she'll sing that tune and then say it's Elise afterwards, and I'm just like,
it doesn't fit as well.
no, obviously not.
Bless her heart.
So with him learning how to edit, did he teach you how to slowly edit, or did you just watch the same videos?
No, I have not. Well, I probably have watched a good amount of them, but probably not as many as he did. But
you just don't need that much training. You're just a natural.
It's fine. No, actually, he literally taught me everything from like day one. So we obviously watched stuff together and like continue to learn. But the editing, he probably did majority of it up until like, I don't know, 5 or 6 months in maybe. Yeah. And then now I probably do, sorry, my headphones keep falling off my head. I probably do like 75% of the editing now. Like, I'm probably like lead editor most of the time.
We slowly worked her in because she obviously didn't know anything about the cameras or anything. So we started her in at the shoots. Like, I would let her start taking pictures or posing people. And then once we got into editing, we slowly had her edit or like look over the stuff I had done. And then now, like I said, she'll mainly edit photography wise all the pictures, and I'll just look at them before we send them out to kind of like have another set of eyes on them.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It helps a lot.
Yeah. I've seen you guys in action, like helping people feel comfortable and everything. And I can say that you're pretty damn good at, like, it doesn't feel awkward. You know, sometimes photo shoots for people, they're so worried about how they look or how their smile looks or their eyes or whatever, but you guys do a really good job of like.
People are really self-conscious, and like most people, 99% of people don't need to be. Like, it's a skill teaching people to be comfortable that we're trying to get better at every day. Like, we're still not the best at it. We're pretty awkward people ourselves.
Oh, we're so awkward in front of the camera ourselves.
Yeah,
too.
so
like, people take pictures of us.
I mean, that's like we're constantly practicing that, but like most people, they're fine. Like, once they see their pictures, they're fine.
Right. They're like, oh, I don't look like shit. Yeah.
No.
Well, I guess talking about trying to like make people feel better or about themselves, like while they're taking photos, what's one thing that you guys like love about being in that business?
You want to take it? You want me to?
I want to hear from both of you. So.
Yeah.
You go first.
With me, I think it's a lot of it is people who like aren't comfortable with themselves, and then once they see it, like you can tell they love their picture, they love the way it turned out, and just like capturing like different moments in time that people can go back and look on it forever. Like, video is really cool because you can watch it like as it plays out, but a picture is something like you can print out, you can hold in your hand, you can look at, and I think capturing that moment in time for those people is really cool.
Jess?
I'm gonna like piggyback off of you. I'm sorry.
We do that a lot here, so it's okay.
Yeah, I know it sounds like Matt.
Par for the course.
Matt's stealing your ideas.
Yep, exactly.
No,
I'm getting freaking. It's 2-on-1, man. It's unfair.
I honestly think I just love like capturing people's moments. I don't like to do. I mean, everybody needs to like post smile photos, but like I want the photos of you like laughing, like having fun. Like that to me is like much more memorable than just, oh, let's smile and like stare at the camera. So that's like what I really, really try to do. Like when we have our couples, when I have families, like interact with each other. Like those are the better memories that like you're going to really want down the road. Yeah.
Same.
Good answer.
Yeah.
And then as far as like what's one thing that you would tell other entrepreneurs about starting their own business?
I'll go. I think the biggest thing with starting your own business, because a lot of people I think build like false expectations on how it's going to go, or they aren't confident in themselves. So I probably said it on here before. Just be self-aware enough to know what's going on. So like I'll use photography as an example. Be self-aware enough to know what you need to get better at, because like you're not going to be that good when you start. So look at other people, learn from other people. Don't copy them. Build your own style, but know where you need to get better at and focus on that, because there's always going to be something after you do get better at that one thing, there's going to be another. So like if you're not that good at, say, taking like really stylistic photos, then focus on that, then focus on editing, and then focus on everything else, and just kind of let it fall into place. But you got to be self-aware to be able to tell yourself you suck sometimes,
Right.
and then get better at it.
Well, knowing what your strengths are. It's not necessarily like constantly pointing out what you're bad at.
Yeah.
It's just understanding what your strengths are and then hiring out or having help in that other field that you're not so good at.
Yeah, you see a lot of people like in like creative industries, like they beat themselves up or they try to compare themselves all the time. And I don't think you should do that. But then I think you also got to like know where you do need to get better at. It's like if you're beating yourself up because maybe they know how to do something that you don't, just learn how to do it and then get better and practice and stuff like that. So yeah, just be self-aware. Be able to look at yourself without beating yourself up, pretty much.
Good stuff. Jess, what do you think?
Asking for help is not a bad thing. I think that's one thing, like, Shae's always like, just ask me. Like, if you need to know something, just ask. And then also, something I never, like, knew, I guess, in my other career was, like, people are very, like, helpful. So we have a ton of photographer friends that, like, if we have any questions, like, I can send a text message and have, 5 answers in just a minute. Like, everyone's super helpful. So, like, just find somebody that you, like, look up to or, want to learn from and ask. Like,
So 2 examples of that. There's a really good, our first actual wedding gig we ever did was a video for someone, and we had never done a wedding video before. We booked it like a week before that. It was somebody we knew. And so I reached out to a couple that's from Kentucky, Happy Camper Films, and they had a mentor session they offered. So I paid them like $150 for an hour of their time. I would have paid $1,000. Like, that's awesome. What I learned from that, like just to ease my nerves going into it, it's like I got it. Like I have what I need to make it. It was good. And then we hit a point in photography where we were like, how can we grow this to make more money? Because, I mean, we wanted it to be a full-time gig, not just a hobby. And we paid Kelsey Malakote, who's a really big photographer here in town, and we paid her for one of her mentor sessions, and she helped us break over that barrier to, know our worth and kind of move forward. And so don't ever be afraid to call another people. Like, we would do the same thing if somebody called us.
Yeah.
That's great. I think it's cool how the photography community like helps each other. And I mean, imagine if every community did that, or every like
They need to.
job sector. You
Yeah.
know, I think it's time for a break.
Yep, let's do it.
This is an ad. It's not a paid ad, but this is an ad for our show.
This podcast has been brought to you by Shae and Jes Photography. You can follow us on Instagram at Shae X Jes or our website, www.shaexjes.com.
Good job. Okay, we're back, and we're going to take it to advertising. What is your favorite form of advertising?
You did that.
Yeah, probably social media. Because
It's only social media.
It is only social media. I shouldn't
Is
even
there
say
any
that's
one?
Probably. I would say I feel like we post the most on Instagram, but I still feel like we get the most of our inquiries from Facebook,
Oh, 100%.
which is so strange to me because daily at least are posting something, whether it's just a story on our Instagram, but we constantly post on there. But Facebook, almost every time we post something, we get at least an inquiry. We get more than that, but every single time.
Yeah.
It's pretty much guaranteed we're going to get somebody to message us, whether it's, it may not be a wedding, but it's a family shoot or some kind of shoot. So yeah, we don't pay for like any
We probably
promotion.
should,
Yeah, we
we don't.
it's working, so we're just letting it be.
Yeah, like she said, like we're really active on Instagram. Like we do that a lot. Facebook, it's kind of harder to be more active because I feel like, and I could be really wrong about this, but like the more you post, I almost feel like you start getting lost. And so like if there's a shoot that we think would get good engagement on there, we'll post that on Facebook. And like she said, never fails. As soon as we post something, we're going to get some form of inquiry and booking from that post. So it's like, if we're like slow one week, we'll post on Facebook and we'll fill that spot that week.
Yeah.
But a lot of our wedding inquiries, we have a question on our form that talks about like where they found us and their Instagram handle, and a lot of the wedding ones come from Instagram now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hashtags are a good thing.
Yeah. And I guess speaking of those sorts of things, you guys are staying plenty booked. It doesn't seem like you're slowing down, at least on the weekends. Like you got several weddings.
Yeah.
Was there ever a point where you guys hit a certain amount of those appointments, or was there ever a moment where you guys said like, holy crap, this could be a really good venture?
Jess has a good story for that.
I do. So I'm going to try not to cry because I always cry when I think about this, so it's fine. we have a friend who lives in Colorado. Her name is Elle. She's amazing. We were just like sitting on the couch one night and we were like, hey, like we should go visit Elle. Her and her boyfriend at the time, beautiful people. We were like, oh, we should go like take pictures of them in the mountains. Like it'll be so cool. So I sent her a text message one night, just randomly was like, hey, can we come visit? Like I want to take pictures. And she was like, yeah. She's like, can I call you tomorrow? I said, yeah, that's perfect. So she called me the next day, and was like, I just want to let you know, like minutes before you texted me, like we just got engaged in the mountains, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, this is amazing. And she's like, by the way, we want you to come to Colorado and we want to get eloped. Will you and Shae be our witnesses? Will you take our photos? And we were like, holy crap, like this could actually work. So I think that was literally 2 days before we made the decision that like I was going to go full-time photography. So it was like a really hard 48 hours, like trying to decide like, am I going to do this? Am I not? But I think that's when we realized like I'm going to have to be full-time photography or we're not going to be able to like travel and do what we actually want to do. So I think that was like the moment it like clicked. And then 2 days later, I put in my like month's notice for my job.
That's freaking cool.
Yeah, and here we are. So
that was an awesome trip. Yeah, like
we did.
I mean, that's something you like dream about doing is like getting paid to travel and stuff like that, and like it's possible, but how do I ever do it?
Yeah.
And then so like we're on the plane, get off the plane, get out there, and like next thing you know, less than 24 hours later, we're sitting on the side of a mountain being witnesses. It was only just us and them while this two couple got eloped and captioned it for them. And like you look around, and you're like, okay, I got to figure out how to do this more. It's like, I mean, it's also cool to travel. Like that's a really special moment for them. And like we've had probably 2 or 3 now where like we've been the only people there with them. Like we signed their marriage certificate. So
that's the coolest feeling in the world.
Yeah.
It's like signing someone's marriage certificate.
Yeah, it's
I
awesome.
love it.
That's neat. Like, yeah, you wouldn't think about how intimate of a moment that is, because usually at a wedding there's all this pomp and circumstance and people and the white dress and all that, and like in that situation it's very like it's just the woods and you all. And
I think if more people got to see those scenarios, they would lean more towards doing elopements like that, because you see how much more like intimate you can be with the person you're marrying. You can talk to them like you're not spread thin, like trying to entertain 150 guests, stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of mountains, you guys have traveled many places, I'm sure. Where all have you been?
So we've done weddings in Colorado, Florida, Kentucky, Indiana, Wyoming, Montana. We have one coming up in Maine in a few months.
So excited. Did you say Florida?
I did say Florida. I
Okay.
think I hit everything.
I think
we got
that's-
married in Georgia, so
We
we
did get
were
married in
there.
Nice.
I think we were meant to do this because
Yeah.
we got engaged on the side of a mountain, and then we got married in Georgia. So like it was not like in the mountains, obviously, but it was kind of like a little destination wedding too. So
That's fun.
yeah.
What city was your favorite? Like, let's do like a cooler city, like, or not city necessarily, but a destination.
Area.
So the Montanas, the Wyomings, and then a warm place like Florida or wherever else.
Okay.
So I really liked Wyoming. Like I had never been, which most of these places is the first time I've been when we get there. But Wyoming, like we have a darker and moodier kind of editing style. And like when we got to Wyoming, it was all brown with blue mountains in the background and like overcast, and it just matched what we do perfectly. And I was like, man, like I could stay here for forever. I'll let you do the warmer one.
Oh,
Or do you want to pick? We could pick whatever.
You do your warm one. Or
I don't know. Hell, warm, I've only really been to Florida. And anybody who wants to get married in Florida, please do not do it in July. It's
Oh my
really
gosh.
hot.
It's real
I felt
hot.
really bad for the bride in that one. Those gnats were eating us alive, and like it just got done raining, so it was really humid. So maybe push that one back into like the winter months if you're going to
That
do
is
Florida.
warm. That is way too
it was
warm.
beautiful. Yeah.
It was really pretty though.
Yeah, I'm sure.
My favorite, I think colder. I think Alaska still like trumps a lot. So we went to Talkeetna in Alaska, and then we were in Seward as well. Talkeetna was probably my favorite. It was really cool. We were like a couple hours below Denali National Park.
Okay.
That was probably my favorite cool one. And then warm. Are we just doing like where we've done weddings? Or are we just doing like where we've
I
traveled?
did weddings because
Okay.
I would probably would have said Alaska too. Alaska was beautiful.
Alaska was amazing.
But like, so what we do is we have ways now everywhere we travel, we bring our cameras and take pictures of ourselves. So it's kind of like still like a business trip when we travel,
yeah.
and we post all of that, and that gets us a ton of business from posting pictures of ourselves.
Yeah, I think my favorite warm place we've been, Probably Utah. I love Zion National Park. That was like, it's probably still my very favorite place we've ever been. Oh, that's really hard. It's hard. I don't know. It's hard to pick.
Yeah.
So you don't have a for sure favorite?
No.
Or we've been to a lot of places.
We've been to a lot.
No, I get it. There, I mean,
It's
there's
really,
a lot of pretty places
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
mountains and streams
and everything's
and
a
stuff.
little different. Like, yeah.
Arizona was cool.
Arizona was
We redid our
amazing.
vow. So we went to Arizona not that long ago for Valentine's Day and filmed ourselves.
That was a beautiful video.
yeah.
Thank you.
So it was an absolute shit show. If you want to hear that story.
I know didn't you get like a cactus in your leg or
Oh
something
my
as
God.
soon as you got out of the van?
Oh, yeah.
Let's just talk about that story. So we went to to Arizona for Valentine's Day, and our goal was when we got there was to film ourselves as like a challenge to renew our vows together and like also create like a pretty video. So that involved me getting a cactus stuck in my leg. We had a rented dress that Jess was wearing, and I stepped on an old Coke bottle full of mud.
it, like,
It
splashed
splattered all
all
over
over
the
me.
dress and Jess's face, like
Oh.
as the
Moments.
sun was setting and we were
Yeah.
losing light to film, and so like we're in a frenzy.
What part of the dress?
Everywhere.
All over. Like,
Yeah.
the whole front of me.
Good
The whole
God.
front.
It
my
was all
face,
over her
my neck.
face.
Yeah. It was real nice.
You wouldn't know it seeing the video.
No.
But Arizona's pretty.
We love Arizona.
Sounds great. That's rough, man. Holy crap. I guess now is as good a time as any to kind of tie this part together. I feel like we've talked about this before in the podcast, and that's fine. But just recognizing your strengths. We've talked about a ton of things, and that was probably the most like business-y type of thing. But it's so true in every business. Like there's things that you're good at, and there's things that you're not so good at. Accept it and know it and understand that, like, for example, paperwork, not my jam. Like, I'll do it, obviously. Hate it.
Yeah.
Can't stand it. It just, it feels, I think the term is like, if it feels heavy. Like, if it feels heavy, you should probably try to find somebody that can do it a lot better than you and a lot more efficiently. Yeah.
Yeah, so like in a creative field, like you really have to do that. Like you need to focus on what you're good at and stay good at it, and you need to always be looking around at how like the industries are changing, because like with creative stuff, like there's always new gear that could come out or a new social platform, and you got to kind of pay attention to stay relevant, but don't like spread yourself too thin either. So focus on what you're good at, hammer down on it, but change where you need to change, or get better at what you need to get better at.
Good. I love it.
This podcast has been brought to you by Habitat Real Estate. Call us for any of your real estate needs all around Central Kentucky, whether it be buying, selling, or investing. Find us on Facebook at Habitat Real Estate or Instagram at Habitat_KY.
All right, so we're back, and it's time to move on to our 5 burning questions. And I feel kind of bad because Shae's been, not asking any questions. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to him and let him ask a question.
So I'm going to switch it up a little bit. What is one thing you would change about your business partner?
Ooh.
Ooh.
If we start fighting, we may have to cut this
Oh,
out.
man. I love it and I hate it. Is it fine if I do it this way?
Sure. How
Okay,
about it?
cool. Because I don't know what you're about to say about me either. It's fine. My husband really likes to come up with new business ideas probably once a week
Oh,
because we have a lot of time on our hands.
you mean like entirely new, like a whole
Yeah.
different thing?
Yes.
Like a brewery.
Yes, which,
He talks about once a week.
yes,
While I'm
I
around.
know.
I gotta
See?
While
speak.
I'm around.
I have to speak it into
I
existence.
know. He does. He speaks a lot of things into existence, which is great. But sometimes I'm like, we don't have time to do this. It's fine. I actually really enjoy it. But
Shae the Swami.
Well, so what's really funny is mine kind of ties into this. What I was going to say about her was I wish she was a little more of a risk taker. But I guess it balances us out, because if it
does.
was just me, I mean, I'd spread myself all over the place.
yeah.
But
Hey, at least we can admit that.
Yeah.
Like, we do balance each other out very well.
yeah,
A very, like,
we're opposites in a lot of ways.
High anxiety, like nervous,
And
not
Shae's-
taking risk, and he's just like, it's fine.
Shae's super chill.
It'll
Yeah.
work.
Chill.
And I'm like, okay.
He doesn't get worked up about anything.
No,
No,
not
that's
a
hilarious.
thing.
Well, so yeah, like for example, like when I will go do things, I won't know how to do it. Like I'll figure it out when I'm there, and so that way you got to learn.
I love that too.
Yes.
All right, so question number 2, and we'll start with Jess. What is your favorite hobby?
I feel like my hobby has become my work, which is fine.
You mean like photography or
Like-
creating social media posts or like what?
Like, so hiking, I feel like it's always like number one hobby. Outdoors, probably just in general. I feel like I thrive in the woods, in the mountains. Like, I just feel like myself. But I feel like now that's kind of become our job, and I'm not mad about it. So if somebody's like, hey, can we hike and do a shoot? And I'm like, absolutely. Where do you want to go?
Same thing. Hiking, hanging out with our dogs. Mainly anytime we can just kind of relax and like
Chill.
we're not having to work really. Like she said, one of my biggest hobbies is also creating new stuff. Like I'm
Right.
even
Finding
like,
more shit to do.
Yeah.
Like a podcast.
Yeah. So it kind of goes hand in hand, I guess.
Awesome. And then the next question, favorite restaurant?
Ooh.
We're doing local, right?
Yeah. Mine probably is Smithtown Seafood. That's in West 6th. They got some fire fish tacos that
they're
I like
so
to go to a
good.
lot. Yeah.
It's a strong answer. Is that the first? No, the second time. Someone said that.
Somebody, I
feel
don't
like.
remember who it was,
Yeah.
but I got really excited when they said it because you never hear it. But that's probably mine.
I'm trying to think.
I can answer yours for you as one if you'd like.
Yeah, what is it?
This sounds like when you ask your spouse what they want to eat, and
Yeah.
then they say, "I don't know. What do you want?"
Hers is always Fazoli's. So Fazoli's started in
That was,
Lexington.
believe it or not,
they?
that was my
Oh,
yes,
they
yes. The
did.
headquarters was here, and that was my first ever job.
Was it?
Oh, that's
Yep.
awesome. I love that.
Young,
Do
young
you know how to make
curly-haired-
the breadsticks?
I know what goes on them, and
Do I wanna know?
No, no, like so. Not the ingredients themselves. It's not anything surprising. There's garlic, there's butter, there's salt.
Yeah.
Probably the amount.
Yes, it's more of the the vat that it's like mixed in, or at least it was back in
Oh,
Nam when I was working there, and then just how much of it is supposed to go on one like tray.
I'm not mad about it. You could show me and I'd be happy and say there needs to be
I
more.
knew exactly how they're made, and I will eat them. You put some in front of me, and
Oh,
I'll eat
absolutely.
them. Like I don't. It does not bother me
Yeah.
one bit.
That's it. Yeah. Fazoli's you like Bear and the Butcher too.
Oh, I love Bear and the Butcher.
That's a good local. I mean, and also
yes.
Fazoli's is literally,
Yeah.
it's a chain, but it is from here.
Yes. Probably. I also really like Ebbings, which is literally like if they're a rockin' hit right now.
Oh yeah, local
Oh.
neighbor.
Yeah, I love Ebbings. So
Yeah. And the next question, what is your favorite musical artist that no one would expect?
You got one?
I've been thinking about this for way too long.
Before we started this question was really weighing Jess down. She did not know what to
Jess
say.
wasn't. She was like, I'm not really nervous. I just don't know what to say for my actual
No,
musical.
and I'm kind of upset about
I
it.
got two, I guess. I really, really love Billie Eilish. Like I listen to her a lot.
That throws me off.
See,
No,
that's who I was
man.
gonna say, but I thought that was too typical.
Oh, don't do that now.
Yeah, the hell.
Oh,
I'll
no,
say it
if I looked at you, I might guess that you listen to Billie Eilish. So that's.
I went and bought
part
her
of
vinyl the other day, like for my
Yeah.
record
I'm gonna
player.
if I can, I'm gonna make a guess for you. Okay,
Okay.
Van Halen.
Wonder why you said that.
I'm wearing a Van Halen band shirt for those who are not watching the video right
I know.
now. I do like Van Halen. We have a vinyl, and I play it sometimes when I'm cleaning the house. So, I mean, I guess I'll go with him.
My
Nice.
other one would be Janis Joplin too. I really
yeah,
like
that's a
Janis
big one, too.
Joplin.
I mean, that's
I
good,
have
good
one.
shit.
I have one for Shae.
Oh.
He really likes Shawn Mendes.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I fuck with Shawn Mendes.
Yeah.
For sure.
Good,
Yeah,
okay.
no, I like Shawn Mendes a lot.
I'll
His
sing that as loud as I
his
can.
newest stuff is not as good as
No.
the previous one, but there's some okay tracks on
Oh,
there.
I'll fangirl over Shawn Mendes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I have one guess for Shae before we wrap this thing up.
What we got?
Actually, don't I have another
There's
question?
one more
It's favorite
question.
business
So
book.
you
And
need to be a better
I
host.
know damn good and well y'all don't read.
Hey,
so
hold on.
We might just fucking.
I read a book yesterday.
He did.
I just
Doesn't
want everybody
count.
to know
Hey,
that.
if you're reading this to your nephew before bedtime, it doesn't count. Okay. No, my guess for Shae was going to be Boy George.
Same as Matt.
So he literally calls me out every podcast for liking Boy George, and he admitted before we started filming this that he actually likes Boy George and started
Yeah,
rattling
yeah.
off. I mean, literally, you name a song like top 10 hits ever by Boy George, which he probably only ever had 10 songs total. Shae knows them.
Big Karma Chameleon guy.
All right, sorry. Let's get back to the final question. As I said, we know you don't read.
I read a book yesterday.
He read it
What is
because-
your favorite business book? And then you hold on. That's the question. What were you gonna say? He read it because what?
He read it because somebody else talked about it on the podcast.
Oh, Who Stole My Cheese?
Who Moved My Cheese? I listened to it. It's for an audiobook. It was only like 2 hours long. So I literally listened to
Did
it.
you really just say you read a book and then
We can.
he listened to a book? In full disclosure, he screenshotted the fucking thing yesterday.
I made sure
And
Matt
sent it-
seen that I listened to it.
Screenshotted it yesterday and sent me a picture of it and was like, dude, this is really good. I know you didn't read a book yesterday. Like, you don't have time to read a book.
That's right. So, but I did listen to it. It was 2 hours long, and
Is
anybody.
that now your favorite business book?
It was really good.
Okay.
Yeah. No, like it's not even really as much about business. You can make it about life too. So it was really good. I would recommend that one. And I have the only other book I think I've read, Rich Dad Poor Dad. I know it's been
Okay.
said a lot. That's an easy one. Have you read any?
No. I have like 3 books that I've started.
Do you listen to podcasts?
Yeah, but not any that are like business
okay.
oriented.
That's fair.
I mean, like,
Like, what about photography ones?
no, it's just it's
Damn.
it's
Just
a-
all for entertainment.
It's
Yeah.
a former bachelorette. That's all I listen to.
Okay.
I just like to listen to her ramble. It's fun.
It's
That's
mainly
wild.
me that only listens to all the
Yeah.
business and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I guess I'm going to throw one more random question in there because I just thought about this.
Okay.
It's not bad. What's a guilty pleasure you would have? Like, so not like, it could be like reading People or like, some gossip magazine or something like that. But like, what's a,
Yeah. I get
it
what
could
you're
be,
saying.
as I say, it could be like a book type, like a novel, or, I don't know.
So I watch hours of,
50 Shades of Grey.
and then after that, Magic Mike. But no,
Ooh.
I watch hours of like how to make espresso and espresso machine reviews on YouTube. I don't know why. I've never even had a plain shot of espresso, but like
It's bad.
I geek out over it.
He will sit in there for hours and just watch how to make it. And every other day, he's like, I think I'm going to buy this espresso machine. And it's a
I didn't know
different
Shae
one.
could be obsessed with anything.
No,
He gets like very obsessed.
oh,
with
I go down
everything.
rabbit. If I'm obsessed with something, I mean, it's over. Like it's hours. That or I'll try to start a business with it.
He does, yeah.
Don't let him get too much free time or he'll actually do one.
I'm trying to think what my guilty pleasure.
Listening to the former Bachelorette talk.
Yeah, basically.
You watch some weird TV shows too.
Do you watch like the royal type stuff?
I love watch The Crown.
Okay.
That was alright.
Handmaid's Tale.
Handmaid's weird as
Mash-
shit.
No, but that's not a guilty pleasure.
No,
No.
that's-
No.
Handmaid's Tale's a dope show. So
Yeah.
It's a dope show.
I mean, a guilty pleasure would be like Jersey Shore back in the day.
I love
Like
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
feel any shame
So I used
about
to
watching
have-
Jersey Shore. I used to love that
Oh,
shit.
like Thirsty Shore Thursdays, and we would all watch it.
T-shirt time.
And 90 Day Fiance is probably her other one. She watches a lot of that.
I watch a lot of 90 Day Fiance. Oh, and also Married at First Sight. It's
Okay, so
real-
now we're
real
thinking
trash.
we're digging up some
I
guilty
love,
pleasures.
like reality trash shows. It's my fave.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right.
This was fun. This
Yeah.
went better than I thought it was going
Yeah.
to.
It was nervous.
Yeah,
good.
it went fine. Other than me having to try to remember when to ask you guys questions,
We put this together on like a 30-minute notice, and I think it went really well.
y'all did great.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
Have us back on sometime.
Yeah, maybe I'll think about it. Thank you guys for coming on. Thank you guys for being a good sport, good sports, I guess. This is Matt.
And I'm Shae.
This is Shae, and this is Jess.
Hi.
Thanks for listening to the Building Small Business Podcast.
Peace.
Lost in every corner of your heart. Now I have to start